Hey, what's up everyone, this is Gamers Reason. Now in this video I'm talking to you guys about how they're going to be doing the always online thing. Now the rumors have been going around for a very long time, and a lot of people are just upset about the main idea and concept of it, because why should we need an internet connection just for a system to function? I mean, just really. And now part of it is kind of true, but it's going to be quite different than what people actually think. Now it does make sense, that you need an internet connection in order to use the Netflix app or Skype and just any of that kind of stuff. I mean, that just makes perfect sense. So the people that are just kind of overly dramatic on that kind of stuff, that does make sense, and that happens on just about every other system. But there is going to be some sort of limited use. And what I mean by that is that if you don't have an internet connection once every 24 hours, it will keep you from being able to use the system. And what they're looking to do is possibly extend it to 72 hours. Now, when your internet goes out, that's why they extended it, so then when your internet goes out, you should be able to regain an internet connection soon enough to be able to, well, be connected online, so then they know that you're still there. Now, I do think there is some options that might be able to help fix this problem, which it may be a problem for some people. Now, understand when your internet goes out, usually it goes out for a day or two, at the max usually 3. Now, if it goes for a week, that's usually a much more serious problem, possibly about your electricity, which you wouldn't be able to play your system anyways. But there's still the issue of, like, let's just say you're moving. If you're moving from one state to another or just one house to another, it usually takes quite a long time just for them to be able to, change your internet or install it at your new location. And there might be some sort of complication that's not available in your area, or they have to install something that's outside the house, or do some rewiring and just all kinds of stuff. So just generally, it usually does take more than 3 days. It usually can, unless you got some good service and you could just call them in, they'll just come right away very quickly, which is really, really nice to have, actually. But as far as that goes, that's where the problem is. Or if you're like grounded, or your internet gets turned off or something, because you fell just a little bit short on the internet bill, or if you decide not to pay it that month, or maybe you're about to switch to another internet provider or anything like that, that does have some sort of a problem. But I think there are ways to get around this. Now, even these solutions, I guess you could say, have some sort of their own kind of twist to them that's kind of bad. And what I mean by that is that for the longest amount of time, most smartphones, you can turn it into kind of a Wi-Fi spot, or kind of, a wireless access point, like a router, so you can actually, connect other devices through your internet. Now, most people, or a lot of people nowadays, seem to have limited data, which does kind of suck. But as far as internet connection goes, it shouldn't take that much data for your Xbox to connect online just to verify, oh, he's been online within this certain amount of time. And I hope that someone possibly might make an app out there. Now, most of the apps that are like that, you could get a 30-day trial sometimes, or you have to pay monthly, which is usually a little bit pricey. It could be as much as, $30, which is quite a bit of money for most people. But if you had unlimited data, it's not that much of an issue. But I really would find it interesting if there was some sort of, app that was like that, but it was more limited. Or you can only use it once, every few days or something like that. Or, if you have a 1-month trial, or you could use it for a certain number of hours or something like that, you could just use it for a very short amount of time, or maybe just keep on somehow reusing the trial, so then you can potentially use that to connect your internet, your Xbox, through your phone's internet. So that way, if you don't have internet at home or anything, then no problem. You got your smartphone. And smartphones usually do have good internet coverage in just about any area. I know this sounds kind of weird, but let's just say when I was around the country area where there was a lot of trees and they were huge, and there's just a whole lot of them covering the entire area, I actually had a really good internet connection there. I mean, it was just very snappy. I was able to just get videos showing up right away. No buffering issues or anything. So generally, no matter how bad your area is, you should have at least some sort of internet connection. Even if it's slow, as long as it can connect to the internet, that's all that matters for the Xbox One. Which, the reason that they're doing this is, again, another one of those things that has to do with, copyright or piracy and that kind of stuff. But it's mainly having to do with people modding or hacking the system. Because usually when people do that kind of stuff, they have to spend quite a good number of time to be able to actually get used to it. And it's not like everybody's going to have enough money to just keep on buying a new Xbox One, start modding it or hacking it. And then when they get connected online, or they're required to, in order to be able to use the system, when they do that, Microsoft's going to notice a difference, and then they instantly ban your system right away. And you're going to have to buy another system. And it would cost thousands and thousands of dollars just to keep on experimenting. And plus, you would have to redo everything every single time. But just to be able to get used to the system and knowing how to, understand it and everything would still take a lot of time and a lot of money. And it usually, like I said, does take a lot of time, and that's why they're doing that. So then they will get rid of those kind of issues, as well as you know, as I said in my last video, the whole used or the burnt illegal copies of games. So it looks like they're really just looking at the overrun of the system and really just trying to get rid of these problems that have been around forever, which, you know, for most people out there still think that this is unreasonable and just, you know, companies being a little bit greedy and just very unreasonable. And just, you know, I know that sounds kind of crazy considering that guy a while back made Twitter about, tweeted something, and, you know, at the end of his statement he said, deal with it. But in this situation, these companies need to learn just deal with it. Piracy's been around forever. CDs are still being sold used. DVDs are still being sold used. They are sold for the fraction of the price of a video game. But do they try to make it to where people can't sell them used anymore? No, they don't. So video games shouldn't be doing that. You know, they should still be sold used with no issues, no limitations, no restrictions, not having to pay fees or anything like that. No excuse or reason in the world. And as far as, you know, being connected online, that's a little bit understandable, but internet is still a problem. But like I said, I think it's more dealable, and if there is some sort of app someone can make out there that can somehow turn your phone into a Wi-Fi spot, do that, and just have, even if you have a slow internet connection, or if it's very limited, it'll use a very small amount of bits, and just, even with a slow internet connection, as long as you can connect, you can do it, and you'll be able to use your system with absolutely no problem. So there's not too much of an issue here, but for most people, it's just the idea that is up, I guess you could say, bugging everyone. So as long as they do extend it to 72 hours like they said they're very likely going to, instead of just 24 hours, which is quite unreasonable, because even if your internet's out, sometimes it can be more than 24 hours. But if it's any more than 3 days, it's more of a serious problem usually. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions or any thoughts that you think, or anything that you think they should do to possibly solve the problem, or anything like that, make sure to post it in the comments below. So thanks again for watching, guys. This is Gamers Reason. I'll see you guys in the next video.